5 little children on Thanksgiving Day. Oh, the first one said, I'll have cake if I may. The second one said, I'll have turkey roasted. And the third one said, I'd like some chestnuts toasted. And the fourth one said, give me that pumpkin pie. And the fifth one said, oh yes, I want pie. But before they ate the turkey and the dressing, they bowed their heads and said a Thanksgiving blessing. Thank you for this food. Amen. I'm ahead of myself. You remember the old lady who swallowed a fly? Well, this is the old lady who swallowed a pie. Oh, it's by Alison Jackson, and the picture's by Judith Byron Shackner. I know an old lady who swallowed a pie. Oh, I don't know why she swallowed a pie. A Thanksgiving pie, which was really too dry. Perhaps she'll die. I know an old lady who swallowed some cider. She mumbled and mumbled and grumbled in cider. She swallowed the cider to moisten the pie, the Thanksgiving pie that was really too dry. Perhaps she'll die. I know an old lady who swallowed a roll. Just swallowed it whole, the entire roll. She swallowed the roll to go with the cider that rumbled and mumbled and grumbled in cider. And she swallowed the cider to moisten the pie, the Thanksgiving pie that was really too dry. Perhaps she'll die. I know an old lady who swallowed a squash. Oh my gosh, a whole yellow squash. Oh, she swallowed the squash to go with the roll. She swallowed the roll to go with the cider that rumbled and mumbled and grumbled in cider. She swallowed the cider to moisten the pie, the Thanksgiving pie that was really too dry. Oh, perhaps she'll die. I know an old lady who swallowed a salad. She's looking quite pallid from eating that salad. She swallowed the salad to go with the squash. She swallowed the squash to go with the roll. She swallowed the roll to go with the cider that rumbled and mumbled and grumbled in cider. She swallowed the cider to moisten the pie, the Thanksgiving pie, which was really too dry. Perhaps she'll die. I know an old lady who swallowed a turkey. Oh, her future looked murky after that turkey. She swallowed the turkey to go with the salad, and she swallowed the salad to go with the squash, and she swallowed the squash to go with the roll. She swallowed the roll to go with the cider that rumbled and mumbled and grumbled in cider. She swallowed the cider to moisten the pie, the Thanksgiving pie that was really too dry. Perhaps she'll die. I know an old lady who swallowed a pot, a cooking pot. Oh, I kid you not. She swallowed that pot. She swallowed the pot to go with the turkey. She swallowed the turkey to go with the salad. And she swallowed the salad to go with the squash. And she swallowed the squash to go with the roll. And she swallowed the roll to go with the cider that rumbled and mumbled and grumbled in cider. And she swallowed the cider to moisten the pie, the Thanksgiving pie that was really too dry. Perhaps she'll die. You think she's going to swallow that cake? Well, I know an old lady who swallowed a cake. For goodness sake, a 10-layer cake? Oh, she swallowed the cake to go with the pot. She swallowed the pot to go with the turkey. She swallowed the turkey to go with the salad. She swallowed the salad to go with the squash. She swallowed the squash to go with the roll. She swallowed the roll to go with the cider that rumbled and mumbled and grumbled in cider. She swallowed the cider to moisten the pie. That Thanksgiving pie was really too dry. Perhaps she'll die. Look how she's all swollen up, all that food inside her. Oh my. I know an old lady who swallowed some bread. Oh, I'm full, she said. And she floated off in the Thanksgiving parade. Pretty silly, huh? Now, this is Thanksgiving at the Tappletons. This is the Tappleton family. And this book is by Eileen Spinelli, and it's illustrated by Marianne Coca-Leffler. And here are the pictures of the Tappleton family. There's Papa and Mama, Mr. and Mrs. Tappleton. And then there's the boy and the girl. Kenny is the boy and Jenny is the girl. And here's Uncle Fritz and Aunt Hedda. And here's Grandpa and Grandma. And here's the Thanksgiving dinner. Thanksgiving at the Tappletons was always a big day. It meant, of course, the whole Tappleton family. Mr. Tappleton, Mrs. Tappleton, Jenny Tappleton, Kenny Tappleton, and Grandmother and Grandfather Tappleton, and Aunt Hedda and Uncle Fritz, and most certainly the turkey and all the trimmings. Early Thanksgiving morning, it was still dark when Mrs. Tappleton lit the oven and took the big turkey out of the refrigerator. And just then someone knocked at the back door. It was Mike, the milkman. "Good morning, Mrs. Tappleton. I thought you might like some eggnog for the holiday." And as Mrs. Tappleton reached out to take the eggnog from Mike, the turkey slipped out of her hand and dropped down to the windowsill. And the sidewalk was all covered with ice, and that turkey began to slide. And Mike chased after the turkey. "Get it!" shouted Mrs. Tappleton. Mike reached out, but he couldn't quite reach. "Stop! Stop that turkey! Hurry!" screamed Mrs. Tappleton. "Stop that turkey!" The milkman chased the turkey. Mrs. Tappleton chased the milkman, and the turkey landed right in the middle of the pond and sank to the bottom. When Mr. Tappleton came down, he sniffed the air and said, "I don't smell any turkey." "Of course you don't smell the turkey," she replied. "You have a cold." "I don't have a cold," said Mr. Tappleton. Mrs. Tappleton didn't want to tell him about losing the turkey, so she sprinkled some pepper and made him sneeze and said, "See, you do have a cold. You can't smell the turkey." After breakfast, Mr. Tappleton put on his coat and scarf and hat and gloves. "I'm going to the bakery to get our pies," he said, and Mrs. Tappleton handed him his boots. "Wear these," she said. "I know for a fact it's quite slippery out there today." Sim's bakery was so crowded, the line was way out into the sidewalk. Mr. Tappleton did not like standing in line, so he went next door to the coffee shop and got a cup of coffee. By the time he got back, the long line was gone, and so were the pies. No pumpkin, no mince, no rhubarb, no pies, nothing. Mr. Tappleton was afraid to go home with nothing. "2 boxes tied up with string, please," he said. Mrs. Sims stared at him. "You mean 2 empty boxes?" That's right. "My, they feel light," Mrs. Tappleton said when he handed her the boxes. "Well, certainly they're light," said Mr. Tappleton. "Mrs. Sims' pies are always light." He didn't want to tell her that he didn't get any pies. Mrs. Tappleton sat at the table, and she called to Kenny. "Kenny, you may make the salad. There's lettuce in the crisper and carrots and radishes, too." Kenny's face fell. It grew pale. He remembered that just yesterday he had taken all the salad things to school for the school rabbit. He knew there were no salad things left in the refrigerator. But he didn't want to tell anybody, so he took an empty bowl, covered it with foil, and put it in the refrigerator. When the others went to the train station to pick up the relatives, Jenny was left at home to mash the potatoes. Every year this was her job, and she loved it. This year she thought, "I'll make them even better. I'll use the blender." So she put the potatoes down in the blender, and the phone rang. It was her friend on the phone, her best friend Nora, and if there was one thing Jenny loved to do, it was talk to Nora, and she talked and talked, but she had forgotten to put the lid on the blender when she turned it on, and the potatoes flew all over the kitchen, on the wall, on the floor, on the cabinets, every place. She had to hurry to clean that all up, and she got it clean just as everybody came in the front door. Well, Uncle Fritz patted his stomach. "I'm hungry," he said. "I could eat an elephant." And Grandfather Tappleton said, "I'm hungry as an elephant, too." Everyone sat down at the table. It was a Tappleton tradition for grandmother to say a Thanksgiving prayer As soon as the turkey's ready, Grandmother said, I will say the prayer. I'm as hungry as 2 elephants, said Grandfather, and Mr. Tappleton went to the oven. I'll carve the turkey now, he said, and he opened the oven door. And what did he find? Nothing. Why was there no turkey? Because Mrs. Tappleton lost it and it went in the pond, and she didn't tell anybody. Mr. Tappleton searched under the table and in the cabinets and all over the kitchen. I can't find the turkey anywhere, he said. Mrs. Tappleton took a deep breath, and then she told them what had happened. Oh, it's down in the bottom of the pond, she said. Well, so much for the turkey, said Uncle Fritz, and his stomach rumbled. Never mind, said Aunt Hedda. We'll fill up on the trimmings. I'll get the salad, Jenny said. And when she went to the refrigerator to get the salad, what did she find? An empty bowl, because Kenny didn't want to tell that he had used up all the salad stuff for the rabbit. I fed the rabbits at school, confessed Kenny. Uncle Fritz looked downright gloomy and his stomach rumbled again. So much for the salad, he said. I'm as hungry as 3 elephants, said Grandpa. Kenny jumped up. Well, I'll get the mashed potatoes, he said. He brought in the potato pan and he took off the lid. And what was inside? Nothing, because Jenny's potatoes had flown out of the blender and all over the kitchen. Well, so much for the potatoes, said Uncle Fritz. I'm as hungry as 4 elephants, said Grandpa. The pies, said Mrs. Tappleton. At least we'll have the pies. I'll get the pies. And Grandmother said, I'll say grace as soon as the pies are cut. And when Mother opened the pies, nothing, because Mr. Tappleton waited too long and the pies were all sold. You brought home 2 empty pie boxes? Yes, said Mr. Tappleton. 5 elephants, groaned Grandpa. The dining room was quiet. Everyone looked at the empty table. No turkey, no potatoes, no salad, nothing. Uncle Fritz muttered something, but it couldn't be heard because his stomach was rumbling. A tear rolled down Jenny's cheek. No Thanksgiving dinner, she said. Nothing to say a prayer for, said Kenny. Grandmother smiled. Of course there's something to say a prayer for. There's more to Thanksgiving than turkey and trimming. And then Grandmother Tappleton asked everyone to bow their heads and hold hands around the table. And this is the Thanksgiving prayer, she said. Turkeys come and turkeys go, and trimmings can be lost, you know. But we're together. That's what matters, not what's served up on the platters. Amen. That was a wonderful prayer, said Mrs. Tappleton. Mrs. Tappleton jumped up. I have liverwurst and cheese in the refrigerator. I'll help fix the sandwiches, said Mr. Tappleton. Jenny wiped her tears. I'll get the pickles. Kenny laughed. I'll open a jar of applesauce for dessert. And so the Tappletons had their Thanksgiving dinner after all. Uncle Fritz's stomach stopped rumbling. Grandfather Tappleton ate enough liverwurst to feed 6 elephants. And in fact, everyone had plenty to eat. But most of all, they had each other. And that's what's important about Thanksgiving.